This is Stephen Mike, and I want to talk about the leafy versus the racist girl. And so he goes on and talks about it, and he basically shows that she got banned. That makes me curious. It gave me the moral question: is that right to ban someone from YouTube from a platform for free speech? That's a very interesting question. If you ever watched this girl, you'd understand that she says some pretty absurd, horrible things about people. And she has this horrible, horrible view of the world and every other people's. And it makes me wonder, was it right that she got censored? I don't know, the way I see YouTube is it's mostly a platform where everyone can speak freely, even though it might not be correct. But you usually see videos of YouTube where, for a while, everyone's just being a dick on YouTube lately anyways. So why not just ban everyone since everyone's just being a douchebag? I understand she's a bitch. She's very hateful and but this is YouTube and we all have the right to say things about anything, even though we may not be right. We still have that platform. It's one of those things. I figure in the future, this girl, her grandchild's gonna be like, who's great grandma? What does she do? And then her grandma's gonna be like, I don't want to show you. And then she'll find herself and she'll look at her own grandma and she'll just have the face of her hand, just be like, grandma, why? And then it'll just piss her off, and then she'll probably just date a black guy, which would be very funny. It's the way some certain people have views. I don't agree with the KKK's view. Them and their view of they need to be inbred. If you look at the KKK signal and you put the three Ks together, that actually looks like their family tree, and they're totally for that. And if they want to be inbred, if they want to inbreed with themselves, then that's their life choice. But if they're gonna go out of their way and force everyone else to believe their view that only they can be as inbred as they are, then that's a little messed up. They can't force that on people. But if they want to be inbred, they can be as inbred as they want. Now, I'm not in for the whole inbreeding because, things happen and you get flipper children and you got a whole bunch of problems with your genetics going on. But you know what? These people have been so inbred, they can't speak right. So just wave off what they say. They don't know what they're talking about. They're all into their heritage, If you look at the Southern flag and the KKK and they're like, oh, we don't get the flag because it's not racist, it's heritage. Well, of course it's heritage. It's all in the family. They gotta keep it in the family. Oh, but back to free speech, was she right what she said? You're like, no, she wasn't right, but does she deserve to be banned? No, I don't believe she does. It's one of those things where I figure everyone has the right to bitch about something. That's basically the ideal of what it is of free speech and to be an American. I don't know if you're American watching this, but that's like the thing of to be American. You have the right to be an obnoxious asshole. Now everyone's going to acknowledge you're an obnoxious asshole, but it doesn't mean everyone's going to listen to what you say. But you do have the right to say it. Some people take advantage of this right more than others, and they say a lot of absurd, obnoxious shit. But it's one of those things where everyone has the right to say whatever it is. Even if you're a very quiet, soft-spoken person, you always have the right to say whatever it is. The way I look at it, there'll always be those groups of people. There's always those groups where all they do is they gather together and they bitch about other people. Now, through history, that has always been bad. I can't really find a situation where a group of people who bitched about another people really did any good. Except those few situations, but a lot of the times, it's usually bad. A couple examples, you have the Klan, and mostly all they do is they sit around and they bitch about the other races. They say, oh, this person's doing this, or they're doing that, and they're all bitching about another person's race. Or you have, this new wave of feminism. Rather than talking about how they can benefit women and how they can make them better, a lot of them just sit around and they just bitch about how horrible men are and how they got to be destroyed and dominated. That's when things, start going downhill, and usually when a group starts looking horrible and it just starts going down the shitter. You can see that through history. What did the Germans do? All they did was gather around and they bitched about the Jews and everyone else. That's all they did was just sit around and bitch, and they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything good or productive. All they did was make things worse. And what happened was they got their asses kicked because they were a bunch of assholes. So that's usually what happens with people who usually gather in groups, and all they do is they talk about how horrible another group is, rather than talking about how they can benefit their own group. I was watching Martin Luther King's speeches the other day. That guy spoke really, really well. I noticed through his speeches, he never once talked about how white people were horrible. He says, this is our deal over people. How can we make this better? You usually find that's funny because people who usually talk like that, rather than gathering a bunch of people to blame another group, they gather all their like group, and they basically talk about how can we get out of this situation, how can we build ourselves up and do better for society, and better for our own society, and better for the society as a whole. Usually, that doesn't happen anymore. That's what I've noticed with this election. Everyone is just out to get each other. It's always this group against this group. They gather together and they just bitch about another group rather than actually talking about the real issues. How can we get out of this? How can we fix things? How can we all work together to get things better? But, now we just look at politics and it's like they just sit there and they just blame everyone. Everyone's just a scapegoat. Everyone's being blamed. It's just this horrible, horrible thing that I've just noticed that's been happening in the world lately. It's just like everyone's on each other's ass. Like everyone's just out to get each other, and everyone's just pissed off and just angry at each other. It's so crazy. And it's one of those things where it's just like everyone just needs to calm the fuck down, and they all just need to give each other a hug and actually try and talk. I think that's the way it is. Like this world has gone right now. It seems like we've even with the internet and everything, and it seems like the world has opened up. It seems like a lot of people have just become more closed-minded at the same time. And it feels like we're just being distracted with a bunch of silly issues that we're all trying to fight with each other at the moment. That's just the way it seems at the moment. Because I've been looking at the internet, with Leafy and all these other people, they're always trying to expose each other. They're looking at each other's videos and they're trying to just trash on each other. And it's so crazy because it just seems like everyone, like down to politics, everything. It's just everyone, that's all they do now. It's just trashing on each other. They're trying to divide each other. They're trying to hurt each other. There is no like camaraderie anymore. There's no, let's work together at the moment. It's just, everything's just fucking crazy at the moment. Just thinking about stuff like that, crazy ass shit. Was this girl, was it right for her to be banned? I say not. Even though she does say some horrible, horrible shit, we all have the right to, make our own YouTube videos and basically blast this girl about how horrible she is. Because, ultimately she is. She's saying some horrible, hateful shit. And she's not really benefiting any kind of group. That's sort of crazy, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, every single group has their group, It sort of sucks, though, because all white people have fucked up groups. I don't know, what happened, why can't there ever be like a white group where it's just like, yeah, we're gonna build up our community and, we're gonna try and love everyone and build shit up. But, but it seems like the only two groups the white people have, because all they have is the Klan and the Nazis. And that's some fucked up bullshit, the fact that that's the only group white people have at the moment. That's fucking crazy. I figure, every group should have a group. Like, if there's a Mexican community that wants to fix the Mexican community, and they actually deal with issues, how to make their community better, rather than sitting around blaming another group and then rallying up people to fight and get all, fight with other people, As long as they're not doing that, that's usually when things get better, when people actually care for other people and try to build things up. Well, let me know what you guys think by commenting below. Basically discussing about free speech and when free speech has gone too far. But we also understanding that, YouTube is a free speech platform and everyone has the right to say what they're going to say. Please like and subscribe. And this is Stephen Mike signing out.